Smash Factor.
Ripping driver, going for it. Oh my goodness. How about that tee shot?
That is crazy how far that is.
Wow. John Daly, take a back seat, big fella. How about that drive?
That's an aggressive line. That is beyond long.
Look at this, he's just driven the green. He has just driven the green.
I guess hello world, huh?
Welcome everybody to the Smash Factor, week 24 on the 2021-2022 PGA season, the RBC Heritage. Not as much of a what used to be a hangover tournament after the Masters as far as the field and stuff. Field is very strong this week. I say very strong. It's good. One of the better ones in a while, taking out the 2020 reboot from COVID when all the big players were playing those first several tournaments. Looking forward to it. I like the tournament in general. Should be a fun one. I'll get to that in just a second. Last week, DFS was up and down. Maine wasn't great. I just didn't have enough of the right puzzle pieces. I was above the field in 6 of 6s and all the big MME contests that I was in, the $100, $15, stuff like that. I had zero Cam Smith, kind of reviewing notes on that. I had my notes on Sunday before Masters week, because obviously we had pricing out. So we're doing, I did the podcast a little early. And in my notes, I kind of had written about that from TPC week was, potential play at the Masters because he just won. Maybe not that many people on him. He may go under the radar, and then he was kind of priced up there, I think 9,900. Different things like that all kind of made me like him. And then you also had the narrative of, what was going to happen that Sunday, which I think turned out to be Scheffler. No, Scheffler didn't play in the Valero. So, but he became super, super popular. I didn't think he was going to be popular. So, I pretty much got all off of him. I was like, I was going to make a choice between him and some of the other really popular choices. I didn't want too much, obviously, chalk, but completely just didn't play him. I did go to Scheffler, and I wrote him up as my top MME leverage play in the 10K range. But as we saw in several contests yesterday, you didn't have to have Scheffler and Cam to win. You didn't even have to have Scheffler in some contests to win. So, just with the way the builds turned out and a lot lower 6 of 6 than we've seen here, especially since the new, just top 15 ties with no 10-cut rule, which 10-cut rule wouldn't have mattered this year either because of the way Scheffler kind of pulled away Friday a little bit. Brooks, again, obviously he was my pick to win. I was back and forth between him and DJ. Had about the same of both. Obviously DJ turned out well. Willie Z was one of my top owned. DJ was one of my top owned. Brooks. My biggest decision, especially like my 4-4-4-4, was going back and forth between Peters and Champ. And I went with Peters, obviously. But I had plenty of Champ too. I think I was 6x the field on Champ on the week on $100 milli, $15 milli, stuff like that. So a lot of the right pieces it just didn't come together, especially at the top. He didn't have any more Kawa. He made the run, had plenty of Rory. It just wasn't, it was, I lost probably 70% on Maine, basically broke even on Showdown. Had some good sweat for round 4. Thought that was going to be a good leverage week, and it was a good leverage day. I was well under the field on Scheffler and Cam, and I made sure on those lineups I was kind of unique. I knew they'd be super popular, and so I crossed out more. So it was 52 guys on Sunday. I maxed out the $20 and took a lot. I took 14 guys. I decided to keep 38 and cut 14. And virtually all of them were good cuts. Guys like Hatton, guys like, I had to go look, but the two that kind of, and they were both kind of late that I'd cut that ended up being pretty impactful was Morikawa and Nah. All the rest I had pretty good. I mean, I was way up there for a while. I was in fourth in the $20 with just a few holes left. It was a break-even day, but when you're sitting there, you got a chance. Morikawa holes out, not ideal, but sort of Rory. I mean, I had plenty of Rory, and Rory holed out like 3 times, so I'm not too mad about it. You get those good breaks for sure. Cantley was a guy I had a pretty good amount of. Made the cut, didn't do nothing with it in Maine. So, not a good betting week. Started out pretty good with Prize Picks. I think finished up on Prize Picks overall. Really enjoying that product, not only for golf, but I'll read some of the other, our UFC, NASCAR, all that stuff, and utilize those guys' plays for Prize Picks as well. So that's really turned out well. We'll have promotions with them later as well. But just not a good betting. I mean, obviously didn't have the winner, but just didn't hit much of any kind of props or anything. I still got to redo everything. It's early Tuesday morning here, trying to get this knocked out before got a busy day today. I'll post this right around lunchtime. Then I'll be back later tonight with all the other content and stuff. We got tornado watch, hail watch, all that kind of stuff. So gonna get into the work field and do some stuff all day. Then be back later. And I'll get all the betting stuff caught up. I know it wasn't good, so I own that. Shout outs. WSAM03 shipped, won $1,000, shipped a contest. It was a good lineup he had in there. Sean S, huge ROI week. Very solid all the way around. Maxed one of them. I think he maxed the mini max for $75, so the 50-cent one. And so 75 turned into like almost 500 plus his single bullet. Was well into the money. So, good strategy there between both of those. C. Tipton won the 3K mulligan, 500 to first. So some green screens in there. I enjoyed it overall. I don't like spending a ton of time on the recap because I think a lot of people typically when they're listening to these they're ready to kind of move on to, especially for this. Like I am a content person, but more of, what are we on to this week and providing that information. Enjoyed watching Tiger. Sunday was a struggle. I mean, he was, I thought he was going to come out and I had him as one of my plays. Really, I think his goal, and it probably was a shoot even, maybe 1 under even ish. Just that final day end on a good note, but he just struggled again on certain parts of the game. Some rust, especially with the putter on Saturday. Ron finished well, on that day. I think when he got in, he had the lowest score in. But I don't know what he finally finished for the tournament. Still not a great tournament for him or good. I don't think he was involved in any kind of optimals by any means, but, good finish there. Scheffler, what can you say? Number 1 player in the world. Coming to a course right up the road for me. I say right up the road, but it's only an hour 20 way or so. It's where we lived for 10 years, right by there, and both our kids were born there. So I played the course a couple times. Looking forward to that week. And Scheffler says he loves the course. We've seen that. We'll see if this, we'll see what kind of run he can keep going. Definitely can't discount him. But just like any week, it showed there that the highest price he even wins, and there's many GPPs or MMEs or whatever, 1 to 3 maxes for sure that didn't have him in it, just because the combinations that you needed to go along to make it all work. So definitely some strategy there to think about as we move forward. We got overall take for me was just, a great young group of golfers. And you can put anybody, I'm saying there's some DJ's still great. He showed that. But a lot of guys, I know the class, Morikawa, Hovland, all those, but there's some solid guys that are even, under say 28 and under that still got their prime to hit per se. And then this new crop of guys that came out this year have shown flashes as well. So, and you see a guy like Harry Higgs pop up, definitely some how do you say it? I guess the bloodline of the field of the PGA looks very strong, and it's probably going to continue to be strong. I know though, my 8-year-old, some people have seen it on Twitter. I mean, he's absolutely all he wants to do is golf. And he's in the junior league. He's got practice tonight actually, as long as the storms hold off. And he loves it. He enjoys it. Still a little bit of a struggle to get him to watch consistently, which I get. They're 8, their mind's wandering, but he's grasping it. He's learning the scoring. you know, and I mean, when I was 8, I don't even know if I knew what golf was. I obviously I knew what it was, but didn't watch much, didn't play much. Obviously, Tiger was Tiger was making his first Masters when I was in high school, around that time. So as that big run happened, you know, and then especially like the 2000, 2001 type stuff, you know, so I watched then and obviously enjoyed watching that. And then, you know, continuing on, then I started playing the game a little bit in college and after that. And, you know, so totally different perspective for me, but to have him love it. And I obviously I'd love for him to play football and stuff too. And he probably will at some point, but man, if he's ate up with it, it's just like some of these other guys. And it is a you know, demanding sport to be that good at, and it's still going to be very rare for anybody to make it to that level. But man, these kids that keep coming off, it's definitely because you only get so many in a tournament or so many on with tour cards. You're really getting, for the most part, the best of the best, and the talent level, especially. And it's one thing I've talked about a lot lately. From the top to the bottom is shrinking as far as the gaps. You know, back 5, 6, 7 years ago, the guys that we would have been paying, which was 2015, so yeah, 7 years ago, it was kind of when the DFS golf started getting a little bit up there. The guys you're paying $6,000-7,000 for, massively less a talent gap from the guys that were truly up there. And nowadays, we'll talk about some today. You know, $1,000 difference in some of these guys is like, well, this guy could be just as good as that in any given day, and it really makes the DFS PGA stuff very intriguing to dive into as we start. You know, we're getting to that point where you can make arguments that, you know, Kevin Stroman this week at 7,500. Is there a massive difference between, like, you know, him and a, you know, I don't know, Horschel? I mean, Horschel's been playing well, but so is Stroman. You know, Hatton 8,600 coming off, you know, a little frustrating week. You know, I mean, Hatton's a little bit better and definitely some better win equity, but you know, Stroman's been great here for $1,100 less. I mean, that's just one option I'm saying out there that we'll be dealing with. So definitely adjusting some of the stuff I look at and how I look at it when it comes to that. Promos right now, Smash gets you 20% off any package, includes a 7-day risk-free trial. Rate and review us on iTunes. I will be doing big giveaways again for the PGA Championship. Anybody that does between now and then will get thrown into those drawings. Same with the subscribe and like button on YouTube. Let's grow that YouTube audience. And leave in the comments today who you want to play in the 10K range. I will start with April 12th through the week of the PGA Championship to get winners, our free giveaways we do every time. I will have the new members and upgraded winners. So those 2 prizes I talked about, I'll do next Monday on that pod. As far as I know, they'll have DK for Zurich. If you remember last year, they did roll it out. I don't know if they're going to keep it the same. I was reviewing some of my notes. If you remember, they made the teammates the same price. And so it was a little bit unique. I think it was 80 teams and 33 made the cut. So our top 33 in ties. So I assume they'll roll that same stuff out. As I was reading my notes, one of the last things I put out there for our community was that, hey, these contests are way behind their normal pace for filling. I don't know how it ended up. I hadn't gone that far yet. So we'll see what they roll out there next week, but I plan on having a smash and content and all that. And I will announce the winners of the new members and all that big promo we did for the Masters. Listener League is in the description. Click the link. Back to 300 this week. I didn't know how much of a hangover we would have. We filled up super quick. Probably keep it the same next week, because if we are, you know, people are just like, I'm out, I want a break. This is about the only break we get in the schedule for a while with the team deal. It's hard to, you know, you get best ball, alternate shot, stuff like that. Definitely hard to grasp. You know, you can't do any real models or analytics and all that kind of stuff. But, you know, we want to boost this up. We filled it up very quickly last week. So definitely want to push for a bigger PGA, especially being over here in the home state. We'll see what we can get going there. So fill that up quick. Last week's winner, I win money, 1, 2, 3, 4. 434.50, a very good lineup. Would have been high up there in many contests. Scheffler, Cam Smith, Corey Connors, Leishman, Siwoo, and Bobby Mack. You know, a lot of those guys I was on, but not Cam Smith. Actually, I think I had all those guys but Cam Smith in the pool. So good by him. Great lineup. Had plenty of Bobby Mack. Decided that. So there was 2 big decisions for me in my lineups, especially my single entry type stuff, was back and forth between Bobby Mack and Cam Young. Obviously chose wrong there. And then back and forth between Peters and Champ, and obviously chose wrong there. Loved Cam Young last week, but because he was continually still getting talked up, I was like, man, maybe I'll just go Bobby Mack. I think they're the same price or $100 different. So a couple wrong decisions, but still had right thought process and looking forward to this week. We are at Harbortown, RBC Heritage, par 71, 7,100. 4 par 3s, 3 par 5s, so 11 par 4s. Obviously, you'll hear this all week. Our boy Kenny Kim will have his course preview out. Need to be on the correct side if you want the full details, or check out his podcast with Tambo if you want to listen to it as well. Need to be on the correct side of the fairways. Definitely a plotter's course. You want to make sure you know where to miss. It's a club down course. Some people may not even use a driver more than 2 times all day. DJ doesn't use a driver a lot out here since he's been playing it the last, I think, 4 years. So that it's hard because when you get to those courses, if you got guys that, and one I'll talk about, is Cam Young. Probably burned a lot of people last week. Perception is his strength is only off the tee, which he is good at. But we don't have enough data. When you start looking at comp courses and Colonial and all this kind of stuff, there's not enough there for those guys to go, well, how we're assuming it could hurt him off the tee, but we don't know. Maybe he is great with, putting a 4-iron out there, 260 or whatever, and just learning where to miss would be his biggest deal. But I'm not saying he's going to do well this week. I'm just saying that there's sometimes comprehending and just eliminating people because they are their strength is off the tee doesn't mean, like DJ, he's good off the tee, but he's also great with clubbing down. So we'll see how that goes and see how the industry takes it. Second shot course for sure. Small Bermuda greens around the green will be important. Flatter greens, and it's not as difficult, but I'll use the stroke gain irons metric that takes approach and around the green into it for sure. It looks like it's gonna be warm pretty much all week, partly cloudy. Small chance of rain in there, like late Thursday, Friday-ish. The wind will be, it'll be up. It's, like it normally is. Don't see too much of an advantage. Super early on Tuesday, though, so we'll see how that goes. Cut, I'm going to go around -1, even, somewhere in that case. Could see -2 if conditions are right, but I think you'll be even-ish. In the winter, I'm going to put around -14, 15. Sink won last year, but he won by 4 strokes. Before that, you had 1 stroke playoff, 1 stroke, 2 stroke playoff, 1 stroke playoff. So I don't know how many years that is, but 4, 5, 6, 8 straight years where you had 2 strokes or less in a playoff. You also, if you take out 2020, which was obviously played in June, late June, different conditions, the last 9 winners or so, I think it is, -12, -12, -13, -9, -18, -11, -9, -14. So I don't know. Perception will be it's a birdie or better fest or not. I really don't think it is. I think it'll be that 14 to 16 under type number. I'm going with around 14, 15, somewhere around there this week. We are getting a stronger field, so we'll see how that works out as well. Stats I'm looking at: good drives, stroke gain irons, great approach. Scoring opportunities inside 18 feet, par 4 DK scoring, and birdie or better. And anything off the tee this week, I'll be very light on, but I do want to bring some of it in to kind of look at that. And I'll look at the courses, and that'll be part of the deep dive, is kind of looking at those bunch of courses up there. It's a Pete Dye course, obviously this one is, and trying to see the smaller courses. And a lot of these guys will have played them a lot. I know HV3 plays those pretty well, just, off the top of my head. But some of these newer guys, we won't have that much data, and maybe people just scrap that out, and those guys kind of get left behind. But I'm not going to rule them out just because I hadn't played any of these, club down type courses by any means. Salary ranges: 15 guys in the field, new to the course since 2016. Salary ranges: 10K, we have 5 guys, 9K, 8 guys, 8K, 9 guys, 7K, 62 guys, 6K, 76 guys, and we'll probably have a few added today as well. I assume there'll be a Monday queue here. I didn't check that. Sweet 16, my normal. I'll give you 3 that I like and a bubble boy in each section. Fade of the week, sleeper of the week, 4 gut fill plays, and then top 5 pop and 2 long shots provided by Prize Picks. Then we'll kind of wrap it up, get out of here, and be back tonight with all the rest of the content and rolling into tomorrow. 9K and above for me. I'm gonna start with Neiman. He's number one in my model. Played here the 2020 year. Got fifth. Has been quoted as saying it. He really likes this course. Coming in good form. 35th at the Masters. 22nd at the TPC. Third in stats. First in course fit. 19th in Bermuda putting. So not much to hate there at 9,100. I love the betting odds as well. Next to it, I went back and forth. I kind of feel DJ's one of them, and that's just there'll be the whole sponsorship talk. Guys are here for RBC and all that. I'm not looking at that as much as what they've been playing. And then if you look, I meant to have this up. If you look at what's coming up for these guys, as they kind of, a lot of these guys are definitely setting their schedule around majors. So this week we got RBC. Next week Zurich, and a lot of these top guys are not going to play that. Some will, but some won't. Mexico Open. It's not a WGC anymore. So a lot of these guys that may be, your Connors, your DJs and all that, they may take the next 2 weeks off and then they'll go play WGC. Probably a lot will take Byron Nelson off. That normally isn't as strong of a field. But it is the week before PGA. But so in my mind, I think I think a lot of these guys will set up and they'll go take the next 2 weeks off, play Wells Fargo Championship. And then maybe or maybe not Byron. And then Southern Hills, PGA is next. So it'll be interesting to see the guys that want to rest can. And sometimes I can say, well, all right, I got this week. I'll grind through it and get there. But DJ's done well here. I mean, 16th, 28th, 17th, 13th. He's had the lead going into Sunday. If he's going to kind of be overlooked for whatever reason, I certainly don't mind. I don't think his form's coming really in together. He got 12th with a triple on Sunday, which really hurt. I had some good runners up there, and that one hurt. That and Si Woo's bogey streak. Holy moly. Before he went on that, I was well into the five figures, flirting with some six-figure stuff on that round 4, and that bogey train hurt. Sung Jae kind of struggled coming in. Early guys, I nailed a lot of that. That was good, but DJ's triple obviously hurt. But I don't mind it. I'll go back to him, especially if he's lower owned. And then Cantley. I'm really interested to see where people go with him. Made the cut last week, so good enough, but just hadn't shown flashes. So last year he missed the cut, which was coming off the Masters again. He had a horrible Masters, if you remember. He shot like 80 round 1 or something crazy. But the 3 times before that was the 3rd, 7th, and 3rd. So I don't know. If people are off Cantley, he's the cheapest up here. I certainly don't mind going there by any means. I could see fading all the 10K range this week. I don't hate that necessarily. The 2 I'll go to are going to be those, and then I like Neiman a lot. Sung Jae's my bubble boy. I like how he finished a little rocky there, but played well. Looks like he's come back in form. He got a 13th here last year after his first 2 times missing the cut. Kind of think maybe he's, the more you play it, the more you get knowledge of the course and understand it. 9,300. I don't know if he burned anybody with an 8th place by any means. He wasn't highly owned last week, but we had him. We had a lot of. I didn't have a lot of them, but I had plenty of them, more than the field. Talked him up even on the E9 with Kenny. Talked him up some, and I just wonder where he's going to be this week with all that considered. I don't hate him at all. He's bubble boy, but probably definitely an MMEs for me. 8K range. We'll start with Noren. A little worried he could be chalky. We'll see how that rolls the next 36 hours. Good finishes here, 28th, 21st, 25th. Coming in with pretty good form, 26th at TPC, 12th at Valspar. Stats are really good. Some of the solid approach numbers, really great approach numbers. He falls off, but overall, 16th in birdie or better, 32nd in par 4 DK scoring. The only thing that would keep me off him is if he gets steamed up some at that price with the history here and then coming in good form. He hadn't played since Valspar either, so he was in the match play, and that obviously on this sheet that I got, but that I built. But I like him. I like HV3. He's a guy that's had, obviously his game is in a totally different place. I don't know. He's inside the top 40 in the world now. Strong first showing for him, 23rd, 6th at TPC, 57th at Valspar. His history here was not great until last year. 68th, the 59th, and miscut, and a second. But playing here a lot matters to me. I think this week, it's one of his better putting splits, and he's just playing so much better in general. And coming in with great form, I could see him, contending this week and being all right. Most of his stats I like a lot. He can club down and be fine, hit 3-wood or whatever around that place, and get this form going and try to get that first win for him over on the PGA. Siwoo, like I just mentioned, I think he probably heard a lot of people that got on that train. He was a roller coaster, but he always is. Last week, I mean, he started out, I thought, man, this dude may miss the cut. Then he got hot Friday morning, made the cut, played good Saturday, and then just, man, once he hit Sunday, he hits that wall, and it's just a totally different thing for him. So I like him. I don't know if he'll be super high owned or not. Let's see what his history is here. So he got a 14th, a 2nd, and a 33rd. He missed the cut back-to-back in 19 and 20. That seems pretty on par for him. Like I said, a 13th at Valero, 39th at Masters. I don't know if he's playing in the match play. I mean, in the Zurich deal next week. That's one thing I'll do during the deep dive is kind of cross-reference that. But I could see him taking a couple weeks off after that and then making a good run. So I'm not off him by any means. It'd be interesting to see what the ownership looks like. $100 more than Noren, $100 less than like HV3. He may be a good pivot off of Noren. We'll see how that works out. Bubble Boy for me is Webb. I think he is underpriced. Form's starting to come around. Obviously, he had to recover and all that kind of stuff. His last 5 years here, 6 years here, 66th, and then 11th, 5th, 16th, 1st, and 9th. So tremendous course fit. Coming in, like I said, got the form going, 48th at Valspar, 35th last week. I just got to feel, the only reason he's on Bubble Boy, I got a feeling he's going to be one of the higher owned guys this week. So we'll see how that works out. 7K range, I'm going to go to Cam Young. I think he burned not only myself, but plenty last week, enough. And I think the perception on, and it's somewhat true. His strength is off the tee, but his par 4 DK scoring is 10th. His birdie or better is 21st. Irons are just okay, but he's 7,500. May just be an MME play only, or maybe I bet him. I don't know. I think 100 to 1, somewhere in that range. But I'm not going to put him. He's 26 in Bermuda putting, so I'm not going to put him completely off just because of last week. Kind of see where that shakes out, but I definitely like him as we sit here this morning. Kazire, 7,100. I've been playing him for well over a year now. Not going to jump off there. He's actually number 1 in my stat models, 2nd in great approach, 17th in strong gate irons, 11th inside 18 feet, 12th in par 4 DK, 19th in birdie or better. Missed cut at Valero. He was a popular choice there, so maybe some burn there. 33rd before that, 22nd before that. He's another guy, roller coaster up and down here. It does seem like very few guys play this really well every year. There's a guy like him, 14th, 32nd, miscut, 45th, miscut. So I do think having history here, whether good or bad, results helps, and mixing that with guys kind of coming in better form. Say, okay, well, they've done well here at times. They're looking good right now. Kazire, I know he miscut the Valero, but good before that. HV3, people like that. Definitely piqued my interest this week. Mito, I'll go back there, $7,700. Not jumping off there. 13th at Valspar, 13th at Valero, 27th at Valspar. I hope people keep dodging him. He was not very high owned at Valero, if I remember correctly. At that price, I don't mind it at all. He's a guy that I definitely could see playing these type of courses really well. And then Bubble Boy Strillman, only reason I think he could be, him and Webb could be really up there in ownership. His last 4 years here, 7th, 6th, miscut, 33rd. His last 3 tournaments, TPC 22nd, Valspar 7th, Valero 18th. So he's coming in with really good form. He's got solid history here, and for $7,500, feels a little underpriced. Kind of like Webb. So we'll see how that works out. The only reason why he's on the bubble is because of that. I like him a lot this week. We'll just have to decide once we get all that kind of rolling is, all right, is it I like Strillman, I'll take him, but I'll pass on Webb type of deal, or vice versa. There may be 2 or 3 guys. We do this every week where you can eat some chalk. I talk about it. And just be unique with your builds, but having too much could wind up hurting you as well. 6K range, Cam Davis, another guy that I think will be in that category that people think or strength is off the tee, and it is. Although he struggled on the weekend at the Masters, did make the cut though. 25th here last year. I like that. That was the first time he got to play it. 46 at the Masters. He's second in par 4 DK scoring and 4th in birdie or better. So he can score. He'll be one that's clubbing down. He didn't need to hit driver here. And hopefully that gives him in good ranges on the wedges. Now, yeah, his approach isn't great, but at $6,800 and all that other stuff, I mean, he still scores well on par 4 and he's 4th in birdie or better. Got around here okay last year for the first time ever playing at 25th. I'll take some Davis, maybe more of an MME play, but I do think balanced builds will probably be a little more popular. So some of these 6K guys may not have that much ownership. Doug Gims, 6,900. Played here last year for the first time as well, 33rd. So another decent one. He's a guy that really comes down to putting. Now he struggles off the tee when you're looking at like good drives and stuff. But has pretty good, irons. He's 9th in opportunities inside 18 feet, 31st in par 4, 36th in birdie or better, 6th at the TPC. So he's shown some flashes, and at that price, I'm certainly willing to take a look at him this week. Hostler, 6,800. Another guy, 16th here in 2018, then miscut. I would say he's playing as good as he's ever played while being on tour for a length. 4th at the Valero. So looking at he's a guy that I'm going to look at when I look at that rolling report that I do in the deep dive. How's he looking compared 72, 48, 24? I think he's probably looking a lot better in the 24 category. And if you kind of trust that, we know we can get the putter rolling. He's 43rd in the field in Bermuda. He's a guy I don't mind taking a look at 6,800. And then Joel Damon, $6,800 as well. 16th and a 48th here. 33rd at TPC, 39th at Valspar, 8th in opportunities inside 18 feet, 18th in par 4 DK. Seems to play these shorter courses well. Only reason I bubble boy, if there's a popular 6K range, I think he could be one of them that's kind of popular this week. I don't see there being a whole lot of just super chalk in the 6K range this week because I think a lot of people will look balance and I think there's some solid plays up in the 7s and 8s that you don't have to drop down there if you don't want to. Now, if you like some plays down there, certainly can. Fade of the week for me is going to be Cam Smith. This was close between him and Morikawa. Second highest price, 10-8. I know I just faded him. Didn't work out for me. He's coming in with a 1st and a 3rd. This course, by all means, should suit him well. His 5 trips here, a 29th, a 32nd, a miscut, and a 9th. So 1 top 10 and then 4, 2 miscuts and 2 top 30s, really, 32nd, 29th. He's number 1 in Bermuda putting on the field. We know that. He's one of the best putters on tour. Recent form, he's got one of the best recent forms coming in, if not the best. I guess I just look at it and go, JT's 300 more. He's coming in solid too, a 33rd, a 3rd, and an 8th. He played here in 2020 and got an 8th. And that was the only time he'd played since 2016, where he did make the cut but didn't do much with it. So overall, I would probably go up or go down to DJ. That's just where I'm kind of thinking this week right now on Cam Davis. We'll see. Maybe no one wants to top play him, and then that's why I kind of put him down there in this section. We'll see how that looks come tomorrow, and I'll update that if I have any changes. Sleeper of the week, I'm going to go Doc. Not unfamiliar to being a sleeper for me. It's the whole Doc of the week that I do was kind of created after him, obviously. Starting to show some decent form again. 26th, 39th, made the cut the Valero, didn't do much on the weekend. 2018 here, he got a 50th. 2020, he got a 21st, and he missed the cut last year. He's 29th in Bermuda putting. There's enough upside and flash there. For $6,400, he's probably going to be well under 5% owned. I don't mind taking a look at him for sleeper of the week. My gut feel plays of the week: McNeely, 7,900. A little worried about him being a popular guy. He's been a DFS darling as of late. He's got a 58th and a 4th here. I like that. Kokrak seems lower priced to me, for his potential upside, which is winning here. $7,900. Another guy with that roller coaster results here: a 6th, a miscut, a miscut, a 16th, a miscut, 14th at the Masters. Stat wise, he's 7th in the field for me. Overall, 22nd in opportunities inside 18 feet, 43rd in DK, par 4 DK, 5th birdie or better. Did we take that for him last week? And he's had some good finishes here, but he's also missed it. Price seems good. I don't mind him. Fratelli, 7,400. Never missed a cut here. A 32nd, an 8th, and a 56th. 50th at TPC, an 8th at Valero. I like that for $7,400. Certainly upside for sure, showing some good form. I'll be on him. And then Straka, 7,200. Again, another guy that perception off the tee type deal, but he's 11th in great approach in the field. Rest of his stats are just average, 43rd in birdie or better. But he's coming in with a 30th at the Masters, a 9th at TPC. Played here twice, made the cut twice, a 33rd to 59th in the price, 7,200. He's got the upside to get there and win. So I don't mind paying for that. Betting top 5 to pop in 2 long shots provided by Prize Picks. Dollar for dollar match up to $100 with the code GUP. Click the link in the description. Get in on that now. We're definitely winning some money there across all the sports. Really good platform they have going. Definitely enjoying that. My top 5 to start with: Neiman 33, Mito 80, HV 350, Noren 50. And I'm seeing Cantley and DJ flirting with 18, maybe a 20 in a spot. So both of those have my eye. If I could get a 20, I may look at that. My 2 long shots I like, again, Cam Young 100 to 1, Kazire 100 to 1. I'll have my betting card, first round of it out later on today, and then finalize everything for tomorrow. One and Done will be out tomorrow. I'll do that on the Wednesday pod, the Final Thoughts pod. Don't forget, Smash 20% off right now. Includes a 7-day risk-free trial, and I will announce the Master winners next week. Once again, just another reminder: if you were a PayPal subscriber or a 2-year original OG, and you've seen any issues going on or had stuff, you've got emails from us or are not sure what was happening, reach out to me at any time. We got all that working. It's flowing well. As we move over everything to one processor, who we've had since day one. We just allowed PayPal for a little while, and we've officially moved over everything to our one processor. So reach out to me if you have questions there. Hope you guys have a blessed Tuesday. I will be back later tonight to get all my final content, or all my content for today out, and then we're rolling to tomorrow. Have a good week, and we'll talk later.